I'll go this way.
It doesn't matter, wherever you want to sit, sure. Check me. Brad, we're here.
I'm here. Hi.
This is my seat here. Oh, sorry to sit in
Hit me again.
You guys were sitting in the back over there.
Yes, yes, it was.
It's like waiting for a baby to be born.
How was
watching a
it?
baby born. From the people who arrived 10 minutes late and left 10 minutes early, it was interesting to.
You want to call them out right now?
No, they're gone. They're gone.
I mean, Brad, this must be an amazing moment for you. This is the world premiere right now. We're all watching it together. You get to watch it with them. This must be surreal for you.
It was fun, especially to see, because you don't get large laughs.
Yeah.
When you're at home alone.
I'm excited to tell Patrick that his Batgirl line got the biggest laugh.
Now, Eric, when you saw the script for this role as the FBI agent, what sold it to you?
I love that. It's been hard to talk about this because no one's supposed to know until the very end, as you know now, that I eventually become one. But it's that idea that you'll see going forward of us living a double life, of people who will never be at ease in their new body, which is their assignment. And so the show plays out in two forums. This work we have to do, which you'll find out about as the episodes proceed, but also the work we have to do of being these people.
So was it confusing when you read the script for the first time?
All science fiction is confusing when you read it for the first time.
Now, for you, Brad, Stargate and creating this show, what was one of the bigger challenges for you from going to that to this?
Well, I mean, I wanted to do something that didn't have any rubber-faced English-speaking aliens in it for a long time. And I just wanted to do something different and something contemporary and something very much in the here and now that was still strongly thematic with all the science fiction themes that I love writing about. So, so Travelers just kind of came into my head.
Now, when you wrote Travelers. Now, how did social media play into that?
Actually, social media was the inspiration because the first grain of the idea was that we, for the last 10 or 15 years, have been putting ourselves out there in social media, and we have an identity that we put out there that isn't necessarily the real one. And that identity and that information is part of the historical record in Twitter and Facebook, and will be for as long as humanity's around. And that's where the idea got born.
Now, is there any questions from the audience? Over there?
A couple quick ones. Do you deal with temporal paradoxes at any point in the first series, first season? And secondly, were you influenced by Black Mirror in terms of the social media aspect?
Wow.
I've not seen Black Mirror.
Oh, okay.
And no, we play a little bit with paradox, but not so much. Not so much.
Any other questions?
The officer that had the heart attack that you guys chose not to use, will that be explained why he was chosen not to be used?
Well, actually, Philip says in the pilot that we decided to use you as a candidate, but the heart attack was inevitable within days. So they just couldn't. A traveler who arrives has to figure out a way to survive. Like if they're about to get hit by a bus, he has to step away from the bus. But if a heart attack is inevitable, they just don't use that candidate.
One thing we'll learn going forward is how imperfect social media is as a record of what happened. So, because of the Facebook page that David and Marcy created, it's a total surprise to her that she's in the body of someone not only mentally handicapped but dying, and as we see from her seizure. And for Philip, as we'll learn later, it was reported by his parents because they wanted to keep it hush-hush, that he died of a one-time, first-time only heroin overdose. It was news to him in this episode that he was an addict. So we're all going to find things that we didn't know about the bodies that we've taken over.
Nobody lies on social media.
No.
That's true. Now, there is rules, though, to become a traveler. Is that right?
Rules to become a traveler? Well, travelers are they train for a very long time to be in the 21st, and they study who their host is going to be. I mean, Eric's character MacLaren had to learn how to be an FBI agent in order to be believable as an FBI agent. But the harder job is being a spouse to someone you've been married to for a long time, and because
A parent.
parents.
Or a parent, yeah.
Right.
What was I going to say? You were just talking about MacLaren and the FBI. Yeah, the thing that we don't know in this, and I was saying this morning that Brad is very good at doling out the information, which will make it a great series because we don't get everything up front. But the reason we're here is that the future is not so great. So, everything, and you saw the actors playing that at various times, whether it be sunshine, food, whatever it is, everything is a revelation to some degree or another. So
let's talk about that. If there's something you would like to change right now in the 21st century that you think will make a big difference in the future, what would that be?
I'd like it to be November 9th. And get Donald Trump out of my life.
Yes,
I don't have a better answer.
Thing, environmental, anything, nothing. They're just.
The funny thing about travelers is the people in the distant future have no hope. They're trying to avoid a very inevitable bad ending. And if I went back, I wouldn't want to change anything in my life thus far because I could screw up something that made it as wonderful as it is right now. So I wouldn't do that.
Oh, very good answer. Now, okay, here's another question. If you could be in someone's body right now in the 21st century, from the future, whose body would you want to be in?
There was one guy back there. He left.
I say The Rock. I would love to be The Rock.
The Rock? Really?
Yes. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
I have no answer to that.
For a few hours, I'd be Justin Bieber.
Really? Any questions out in the audience? Yeah.
What happened with baby when she left?
Oh, there was a babysitter there.
All the way to that?
The traveler dies, does the host die?
It's the host.
Or does the host die, does the traveler die?
If the host dies, does the traveler die? Yes.
Well, yes, right. So
What happens is the traveler completely supplants the life of the host. The host is overwritten.
It's kind of like stealing a car. We have the body, the rest of it is us from the future, our consciousness, our mindset. However, we're not infallible. If that body, we didn't take the officer's body because he was going to have a heart attack one way or the other. However, I can try to stay out of the way of bullets that may hit MacLaren, but I can't. I mean, if he gets hit by one, we're both dead.
We do explore that issue though in the series. Is it always a direct hit, or does the traveler misfire? That's a story.
So it changes the present time then? Like the person that comes back will change certain things that are happening right now?
Well, they
Playing
continue.
the lotto, like he wins, right?
He
Like
wins,
that's-
but he only takes 7 numbers out of 8 or 8 out of 10 or whatever it was. He doesn't win the top prize, he just wins the second prize.
What we'll
We're trying to
learn,
have a minimal impact on the timeline.
Okay.
what we'll learn is that nothing is arbitrary. They can't just behave and do whatever they want. There's a very specific plan. There's things they've been given. His job, Philip's job, was to find some money to set up what will be the place that we work out of. There are people we can save because it's our job. There's people we cannot save no matter how we feel. So everything, as you'll see, is part of a plan that we are given, and we're just following orders.
And there's protocols that we have to follow. I think there's 6 protocols in total that we have to follow. The first one being the mission comes first.
And how do you pick the people?
Oh, the host candidates are chosen way in the future through the social media. We know this guy's about to get hit by a bus. He would be a perfect person. He would be a good host. But it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you bring the skills from your intelligence into the body. Marcy knows how to fight the minute she gets there. And you lose skills that the host may have had. Trevor might not be able to throw a football so well.
You know what, I love the fact that it's a Canadian show.
It is.
Shot in Vancouver. Is the whole cast Canadian?
We're all Canadian, top to bottom.
Nice.
The writers. It's also very Canadian in how it was developed. It was developed at the Canadian Film Centre with a group of writers who are all Canadian and all brand new to the business, and they're with us here tonight, or today. Maybe it's tonight. It's been a long day. And then my rule is I always look here first. It's not like we say we're just hiring Canadians. We look here first, and we found everybody we needed right here in Canada. That's a wonderful thing.
Yay! Good job. Okay, some questions about Brad?
Stargate cast in that episode, can we expect more? And also, any chance Stargate comes back?
Yeah, there's a lot of Stargate people in this cast because in Stargate we used every actor in Vancouver. And we're using a lot of them here. I mean, I know a lot of the acting pool in Vancouver because I worked there for so long. I mean, David Patrick, he was in SGU. I mean, I wrote it for him. I love him in that part, and I had his voice in my head when I wrote it. Is Stargate coming back? Possibly.
Yes.
Will it come back in anything that I have to do with? I don't think they're going to ask me.
Why?
They're not going to ask me because Devlin and Emmerich have taken they want to do another movie and pretend the series didn't happen, which, I agree with you. And I say good luck to them. Yeah.
Question over there, yes.
I want to know, the travelers, what happens to their bodies, the original ones?
What happens to their bodies in the future?
Yes.
Well, that's a good question. Next question. No, we're never going to go to the future, and we may someday answer that question, but we're certainly not going to answer it anytime soon.
Now, the lights go out when they all meet.
There was a historical blackout, and that's why Grant MacLaren fell down the elevator shaft.
Okay. Yes.
When is Traveler scheduled to start? Like, what date, what time slots?
Why, it's going to be on a showcase on October 17th, Mondays at 9.
At 9 o'clock, yes, Eastern time.
And then the rest of the world will be Netflix in December. So you guys are getting the series first.
Way in the back?
Yeah.
You mentioned that the time travelers are coming from far, far in the future. How far are we talking about?
Quite far. Hundreds of years. Yes, I'm not going to give a specific date in case it's anyone's birthday.
Are you guys fairly active on social media, both of you?
Eric is. I've tweeted, I think, 5 times now. 4 of them are retweets of Eric's.
Yes, relatively.
Any other questions?
Sorry to ask you another one, but do you feel if you accept this series in Canada with Canadian costs, etc., would that have hurt your chances of selling it in the U.S.?
We call it the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
There are scenes set in Canada later on, and we shoot Vancouver for Vancouver. We just say it's in the Pacific Northwest. By doing that, it's not just the American market; it's the whole international market. It's just the nature of it, and we're never specific to like anything other than a neighborhood. We don't say Seattle or Richmond or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I just to follow up, like, do you think Americans would not watch it if they saw, instead of the FBI, they saw CSIS or something like that?
The FBI is more recognizable internationally than CSIS, yes, and that's why we went that way.
CSIS also sounds dirty.
And maybe it is.
So how will the series unfold? Give us little hints of what
It's going to start just like that. It'll start exactly like that.
We have an arc for all of season 1 that ramps up, and in fact, episodes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 are just a ride. It just builds. It is one big story, but I think of it as sort of a hybrid in the sense that I don't like punishing a viewer who misses a couple of episodes. I like you to be able to follow a story if you miss the first 2 or 3, but I want to reward the constant viewer, and so there's a giant, full, rich 12-episode story that's got a heck of a great cliffhanger to keep going into season 2, because fully expect to do a season 2.
What's kind of nice is that some of the questions you have, they will be answered in episode 2 or 3 or 4, but there are other questions that you have that the travelers have as well. They only know so much, and so they're as in the dark as we all are about their next mission. They're waiting for instruction, and which leads to I think it's episode 7 or 8, where they seem to have completed part 1 or 2, and they're not sure exactly what comes next, which creates a whole other element of how long are we here forever, and what do we do when we don't know what to do? And the answer is we have to live these lives.
So they can't go back into the future then? They're stuck in this body in the
They don't-
21st
well,
century.
For one thing, they don't want, they're hoping the future is, as we speak, getting better with every new thing, not just these 5, but as I think Harley said at the end, that there's thousands of travelers all over the world, and that'll be a big piece of the coming episodes as well. But we're hoping that what they're doing, what we're all doing, is having an effect. We just won't actually know if we are or not.
Yes.
Travelers are able to identify each other.
I didn't hear the question.
Are the travelers able to identify each other?
Identify each other.
Traveler teams train together, but one of the protocols is that you don't seek out other travelers unless ordered to. So there's not like a travelers club where they go and hang out. This season.
Season 2, Travelers Club.
You may have to do that. All the way
First
back
rule of
over
my
there.
travelers club, there is no travelers.
Yes.
One-way trip. It's a very noble mission. One way only. In the corner?
Can the host ever take control back?
The host is gone.
Okay.
The host is erased.
And the host's death was inevitable. So when they take over the host body, they're not taking over a dead body, they're taking over a body moments before it was going to die, and then they avoid the death that they're fully aware is going to happen, whether it be, as I say, a bus or whatever.
And they do it that way because for them, in a future with diminishing numbers of humanity, life is very precious, and so the idea of taking one is absolutely important to them.
So how many people are they going to take? So there's individually, or are they going to do something at the end where it's going to save all humankind, or is it just
They're going to take
1% at a time?
as many people as showcased on Netflix allow us to take, which hopefully is a very big number.
We have 3 questions here. The first, yeah?
I heard a rumor online that Amanda Topping was directing an episode. Do you know which episode, and can you confirm that?
I do know because I was there.
And I was in it.
Yes, Amanda, who I've known for a very long time, I won't even say for her sake, is directing our season finale of the first season, and she did a fabulous job, as always. I gave her her first directing assignment, again, a million years ago, and she's amazing.
Yeah.
So when the host dies because of a heroin overdose, but then the body has still died of heroin overdose, how does the host get over that?
Well, he didn't take the heroin if you watched. He did not inject himself.
It has to be done.
If he'd done it, he might have been in trouble and died. But he was taken over before he did the needle. He dropped the needle.
So he took over, the host's personality is gone, but he would have been gone anyway. He would have injected himself. It's just that the traveler, with seconds to go, has his instructions, which are, by the way, don't inject yourself.
Always a good idea.
And they're all young. So is there
They're
any?
all very young.
Aren't they?
Yes.
Some of them.
Yes. Everyone's
Shocked at
young.
how young all 5 of them were.
So not an older person then? It's mostly under, I don't know, 40s?
Yes, 40s. 40s. We're all in our 40s.
Yes.
Well, there will be exceptions in the coming episodes, but for the most part, if you're going to take over a body, it's probably not a great use to take over somebody who's 89 and
Right.
can't get around.
There are exceptions.
There are exceptions.
We do it.
You do it. Okay, we have a chance for 2 more questions, and then we're going to have to wrap. Yeah.
Do they take over bodies that are similar to their own?
That's an excellent question. Do they take over bodies that are similar to their own? So far, the thing that we're sticking to is male to male, female to female. Other than that, no. We move around with age. Maybe they're trying to match skills a little bit, so that, you know, if like a leader in the future would want to be a leader in the present day, because that's a characteristic you have to carry forward.
One more question.
Now, you used a scenario where the Facebook social media that they were using was faked. Will you be trying to dabble in there somewhere where they made up a fake Facebook character that just the guy was going to happen to die, but he wasn't scheduled to die, and you guys jumped into that body, and then give some kind of grief for it? You've taken a life now that...
This is like a writer's room. We may or may not do that. We may have that already planned. The social media is definitely a door into storytelling for every traveler, because that's what we got. That's what the future has as the raw material for assuming lives.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
One thing I want to add, if you, because there's a bunch of you here, if you really liked this, tell everyone you know. If you didn't, please keep it to yourself.
That Travels World series premieres on Monday, October 17th at 9 p.m. on Showcase. Now, you can go to the booth for autographs if you have the blue ticket. Do you have the blue ticket? You get an autograph, but you can meet and greet you at the Showcase booth. But let's let them leave first on the red carpet or green carpet, and then everyone can follow behind. Thank you so much.